Hello and welcome back. Here's a taste of what's coming up in today's video. We could bring in the quantizer and just bring in a pitch here. I'm totally using this, not in the way it's intended. I'm using this at the moment just for kind of sound design. That's what a kick drum sounds like when it's playing around 42 slices really quickly. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. You could actually throw long loops in here and have it play it. It's like a really cool bass line or something. So let's send this out into the modular. When you've got this information coming into here, you can then, well, you can start patching anything in. So this is Beat Scholar, and this is by a company called Modalics, and they say that this is a new way to compose rhythm, a rhythmic composition app and plugin. They say it's designed to deliver a uniquely intuitive and creative experience when composing drum patterns and beats. Now, part of what I'm going to look at today, I am going to look at that, how you can make beats and patterns with it, and it is really interesting. I've really enjoyed using this. But if you wait till the end, I'm going to show you actually how you can use this to sequence your synthesizers as well. So stay tuned to the end. They say that Beat Scholar makes exploring the most interesting deep concepts in rhythm as easy as slicing a pizza pie and as fun as eating one. Well, I do hope that, because I do like to eat a pizza, that is for sure. And if we look at the interface, you can see actually what they mean by that, because we are presented with a series of dots here. They, I guess they look like pizzas. In fact, they do if you slice them up, which is exactly what we do in Beat Scholar. That's the kind of premise of this. It essentially takes beats and allows you to slice each beats up into further beats, time divisions, to create interesting rhythms. What a great idea. What a great way of kind of visualizing the way that you're kind of programming and working with rhythms. I just think this kind of really connects with me. I really like it. So as an example, if I just play this, we've got a beat going. And let's look at this on the left-hand side here. We've got mutes, we've got our solos. You can add and subtract lanes as well from here. So you can add more in. You can add, I think, as many as you want. You can play with the time signature up here as well. You can save your pattern and you can duplicate your pattern and put it here and then kind of mess with it further, draw in some extra stuff and then swap between them, which is all quantized. Down below, you've got all your different samples, which are all color-coded and relate to all the different colors you've got here. You can play around with all these different things like the attack time, the pitch, filters and so on and so forth. So let's just play around with some of these pieces and slice them up a bit and see what we can do and totally mess this pattern up. So this is quite interesting. You know, you've got, let's just make it nice and simple. Let's solo the first channel here, and this is the purple sound, which is this kind of slap, octave slap, one shot playing. And if we click on that, we can add you can load of these if you want, that kind of thing. Or we can actually slice this into more divisions, and each beat now, or this particular beat, the second beat, is going to play first, then it's going to not, then it's going to play 3, then it's not. You can see where I'm going with this, right? Let's just delete the second half and just focus on this. You see what I'm saying? Let's go to the next row. This is this kind of snappy sound, and we're just adding divisions. All I'm doing here is holding down Command and clicking up and down with my mouse. Or you can right click and you've got this menu that comes up where you can slice it into different sizes. You go all the way up to 42 here and get really kind of glitchy stuff going on. In fact, you know, if we was to delete a load of these and we just zoom in and have a look at one slice like this, which is playing this kick drum, if we right click on it and we slice that all the way to 42, you can see a lot easier now. By the way, you colour these with any sound, so you could have that sound playing there, then you can play this one on those, you can play the kick drum here, there and everywhere, that kind of thing, and hit play, and it's going to sound crazy. It's probably not what you want to do, but maybe it is. You know, I don't know. Maybe you want to do a bit of sort of sound design with this. Could be quite interesting. I mean, you've got, how many is it? 42 slices here. That's what a kick drum sounds like when it's playing around 42 slices really, really quickly. But we could pitch that, you know. We could do all this. You can almost make, you know, synth lines with it or something like that in a way. I tell you what would be really useful though, when you are slicing up this into 42, it'd be really cool if it showed you, you know, like that's a quarter of the way around, that is, and I think that is, or something like that. It'd be good to see more or less where the quarters are, so you've got some kind of way of navigating really high slices. Let's slice that down now instead. Let's go to 12. That's kind of cool actually. I'm totally using this, not in the way it's intended. I'm using this at the moment just for kind of sound design. I've got a kick drum here and it's sliced in 12 slices. I've took 2 out and we've got this. It's like a really cool. Yeah. I wanna sample that actually. Wait. That's nice. I'd like to sample that and use that in a song. Anyway, I'm kind of digressing. This is not really what I wanted to show you, but I guess in a way this is a really interesting way of playing with time. So like I say, you could, if you wanted to, you know, just slice this into 4. We could hold down 4 on our keypad and click on this, and we could then go, you know, kick. Let's maybe slow that down. So we've got a kick there, and we could put these in as hi-hats. So you could do something like that with it. If you hold down Alt, you can change the velocity as well. Just turn down the volume of the hi-hat. So that's one way of doing things. Or you know, you could just add another channel here, and you can have the hi-hats on their own channel here instead, and again play around with the velocity, that kind of thing. So if we increase this to 4, it'll play through in this kind of way, you know. So let's put these as 4 like that. One thing you can actually do is right click, you can copy and you can paste your stuff, so you copy that and copy and paste. Really quick way of navigating. It's really, really cool. Let's put another kick in there. That kind of thing. Let's add another one in here. And maybe this one will go for 7. That might be interesting. And do something like that. 7, and then do something like that. And then let's copy and paste. And let's copy that one and paste that. So you can see how we can play with time in a really interesting way. Now we could duplicate this pattern, and that's one I made before, get rid of that, and let's rename that one B. And here we could do something completely different because they're not really related, they're completely discrete from each other. So we could, for example, we could slice this to 24, and if we copy and paste that, we've still got the same rhythm because that kick drum's still in the same place. It's just that we've got more slices to play with here. So you've got to figure out, if you're using really high slice values like this, where it's kind of going to be musical. It's a bit weird. There we go. It's kind of slices that are opposite each other. So if they're kind of like on a quarter, maybe that'll work as well. Yeah. Again, it'd be good to have that indication about where kind of more musical notes would land when using high slices and that kind of thing. Let's go freaky with this one, and let's turn that one into 32 slices. And in this one, I'm going to go like all the way around, and I'm going to change the velocity though. I wish there was a tool where you could do like velocity sweeps. I couldn't find one. So like if I could hold down a key and click and drag and move around this, and it would slowly like get louder to create that kind of velocity curve, like kind of thing, you know what I mean? I won't do it again. Oh, another thing that might be cool as well is to have some of these probability to change on it. So sometimes they play, sometimes they don't. So you could set each slice with a probability of between 1 and 100%. So anything like below 50% will play less than half the amount of times, that kind of thing. Could be, again, another interesting thing to kind of change things up a little bit. And then we can go back to A. And you'll notice it waited to the end of the beat there. Yeah, and you can also bring in your own samples and completely swap all these out as well. So if we've got a sample over here and we want to put a different kick in on the red one, we can do that. We can just literally bring that over, drag and drop it, and now it's loaded. So yeah, Beat Scholar comes with loads of its own sounds, or you can just throw your own into that and just make it your own, you know, load up someone else's patterns and throw your own sounds into there. Don't forget, it doesn't just have to be drum sounds. You can throw in one-shots or found sounds or multi-samples from a synthesizer or something like that. You know, this doesn't just have to be a drum machine, which is really what it's advertised as. I'm just looking at different ways we can use that in more kind of interesting ways, you know. The thing about working in electronic music is that I always find that I'm just getting started. There's so much that you can do. There's so many different methods of generating sounds and working with sounds that there's just so much to explore. And I think that's one of the things that excites me so much about working with electronic music. You know, I guess that's why I gravitate to working with Modular, but I also love working with a computer and using this as a hybrid setup for all sorts of idea generation. So what I'm trying to show here is that you don't have to use this plugin just as it's designed and its initial purpose, which is for drums. You can use it for multiple things. So pattern A is like this. Pattern B. Maybe we'll add some more hi-hats in there as well. You'll notice that I just accidentally put a kick drum in there, which is pink, which you can do, but I kind of like to keep things on their own discrete channels just because you can solo mute them and play around with the levels a little bit better. So let's have a listen to that with the hi-hats. That's quite interesting. So now we've got pattern A, and pattern B, and you can have as many patterns as you want as far as I know, and I guess the patterns, that's their way of kind of building a song structure in a way, so you could have like intro, verse, chorus, so on and so forth. So nice and simple. The only thing that I noticed as well, which I would like to see maybe in a future update, is the patterns can have discrete settings down here. So, you know, for example, on the kick drum, it'd be cool that if, you know, you could have a high pass filter on A, and then when you go to B, the high pass filter was off, for example. So it'd be great to have those, maybe those kind of discrete settings for each pattern. I think that'd be really cool. I think it would open up so much more in terms of like, you know, developing and growing a full-on track if you just wanted to use this plugin for a lot of that. You can also drag these out and you can extrapolate the MIDI from this straight into your DAW as well. So if you want to tweak it and play around with that a little bit more, you can do, which is really cool because, you know, if you've got something like, I don't know, let's just build a new pattern here, and we've got something which is 42 slices, and, you know, you've got this kind of going on, and you've got some different velocity going on. So, you know, this kind of thing might take a long time for you to create. Well, you can now just simply drag that and put that straight into your DAW. And I can show you that if we just go over here, and we've got a new instrument here, which I don't know, might be a clap or something. If you hold down Shift and you just drag, and you can import the tempo information if you want, but we're not going to do that. And there it is. That's what I've just programmed. And, you know, you've got all the velocity going on in there as well, which is brought out with it. So if we listen to that on its own, it's just a clap, I think, just playing. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Like white noise or something like that. Instead of having a clap, we could have maybe hi-hat. Something like that. Slow it down. Slow it down even more. You've got this really interesting pattern. And that might have taken me ages to program inside of here. You know, you could do that with the velocity here, I suppose. But I was able to do that in Beat Scholar and bring it out and drag it straight to my DAW, and that's cool. So here's another preset. You've got 4 sounds going on at the moment. Got your hats, snares, and kick drum eventually. And up here, I think this is kind of some shaker and clav going on there. And it's pretty straight beat at the moment, but one of the things you could do here is you could change the timing just for one of the bars if you like. So we could make this 3/4. Which you can, you know, play around with this a little bit more, and you can get some more interesting things going on. I mean, you could go crazy like this. You know, maybe not what you're after, but I don't know. Let's try some extremes. Let's do all this. Let's go for it. This is destructive editing, by the way. So where that was 4/4 before, and we had something in here, when I changed it to 3. We lost that information, so that disappears. So just be mindful of that if you are messing around with this too much. Let's leave that on 3 anyway. Okay, pretty crazy. Maybe we'll add some swing to this. And you can get that kind of thing going on. Let's have a look at some more extreme presets. Now this one's nice. It's also showing off kind of that kick drum, using a bit of drive on there. We can add a bit more of that if we want to. Compression. Now there's no kind of envelope on any of these sounds as far as I can tell, except for just playing around with the attack time. So you can shave that attack time off, which is, I don't know, maybe you could do that if you want to do kind of sound designy kind of things. But yeah, it'd be cool if there was a release that you could play around with it in a way. That would be really cool. The pitch is quite nice to play around with. As is the master filter. I mean, just getting that kind of programming here that comes towards the end. I mean, that's really interesting just on its own, and we could just maybe take that. Let's make that into 4 segments. And this bamboo sound, let's swap that out for some claps instead, and just replace those. Yeah, and replace this one over here. Yeah, maybe with that hat. And then let's shape some of these sounds a little bit with the filtering. That snare as well. Let's put that in a little bit of context. Maybe let's add in a synthesizer. And just try something. And yeah, let's do it. Some kind of. Kind of wonky and a bit wobbly, and kind of like that. Let's just dirty this up a little bit. I really like the sound of those with the filtering, I must admit. Going to turn those down a little. Pitch down the kick drum there. And maybe we'll add a little bit of just a slight bit of delay there. Maybe some on the bass as well. Just for a bit of context, just, you know. Now this one's pretty crazy. Someone's really gone to town on this one. Here we've got like loads of, just loads of cut up stuff, proper mashup kind of stuff. Very sound designy. A song in itself. It's great. What else we got? Nice and heavy. Tech house groove. Okay. Actually, this is built up of multiple scenes, patterns, so you can bring in a hi-hat and then build it up. Yeah. Kind of funny though when you just see that. It's just like, that's all it is. It's just a kick. And then for each sound, when you select it down here, you can play with the attack, you dampen it, you can play around with the pitch, fine tune it. You've got a high pass filter to play with, cut off, you've got resonance, drive, compression, crush. You've got some room, you've got some kind of bigger reverb, some distortion as well, and your main level, you can pan things. You've got a master, cut off, resonance, crush, and compressor as well. So if we just solo the kick drum, let's just put another kick in here. Let's play around with a drive. Could take that attack away. This room's quite nice. If you listen to this on headphones, it just kind of opens up the stereo a little bit. Now, I don't know if the distortion comes after the room or the room after reverb. I don't know how this processing works, but so there's no delay. We're kind of getting that faux delay, if you like, anyway, with that second snare on there. But let's add some room on the snare. And hi-hat. And you get that sort of thing going on. But you can also bring in your own samples if you want. You don't have to use the ones that are inside of here. So for example, we could just go over and search for kick here. And let's just find something, what's this, kick 4. Just drag and drop it onto any of these here. So you could fill these all up with kicks if you wanted to. And instead of this snare here, let's put a kick on that as well. Oh. Something a bit different. It's quite interesting. Can layer that kick with the other kick. Let's make that into 8. I like that kind of sound design you can get going on, layering up these kicks. This one's kind of clicky. What if I make this 3? And let's search for a different hat. It's quite a weird one. There's no attack on it. Let's try a different. Oh, on the wrong one. So you can get really kind of sound designy with it, in a way. It's really cool. Let's duplicate that pattern. So we've now got another pattern here. We can rename this one B, if you like. And let's mess it up a little bit more. Just do something a little bit more interesting. So maybe we'll straight off the bat make this like, I don't know what, this is probably going to sound awful, but just to demonstrate, kind of like that in a way. Change that hi-hat out again. Ah, these kind of interesting. That's what's taking over. And then when we want to, we can jump back to A. And that's all quantized. Let's just go crazy here a minute and add a little bit of sausage fanner on. Let's just give that a little bit of context as well. Maybe we'll try lush chords. Nice. And let's add some sidechain coming from that. Give you a bit of context there. Nice. And maybe a little bit of reverb, yeah. Let's go for some H reverb. You end up, you know, with something like that. So there's loads of other cool stuff you can do with this as well. So let's say you've got, these are all divided by 4, something like that, and you've got your sound going on like this. You can actually also click using your left and right arrows on your keyboard, and you can move stuff around. So if you haven't got them in the right place, you can do that kind of thing, which is really, really cool. You can also use the down arrow to mirror what's going on there as well. So really simple ways of doing and moving around slices, because you know, if you've got something really complicated going on, that's maybe 24 slices, and you've got stuff like this, and you're like, oh, I like that groove, but everything's in the wrong place. You know, you can move them around using the mirroring, or you could just rotate them and that kind of thing, and that's really cool. And you can also just use your command on your keyboard, just click and hold that and drag up and down as well to add and remove these slices. Now this is destructive again, so you know, if you've got all these filled in and you reduce it, they're gone. So just be aware of that. It's just something to be mindful of. Let's take a look at a few more presets. So this is really interesting because you've got these going on here, which are these conga sounds, but they're kind of pitched, and in a way it kind of creates some form of melody, if you like. And the same thing kind of going on here, which is quite cool. Really quite like it. I wonder if we could actually find our own sample of, you know, some kind of a synth or something, like a sound effect. Maybe not that. Maybe I don't know. Have we got a synth or something like that? Actually, that might be interesting. What if we was to throw a beat into this and see what happens? So let's initialize that, and let's put a beat on here and add that. Now, does it play it all the way through or just for that one slice? Oh, I see. So it's playing that. So if we put that to 125 BPM, which is what the sample is, then it plays around. It'd be cool, I suppose, if it just played a snapshot of that sample. That way you could throw on really long samples on here and just have like little bits playing from them all, and just pull little bits out. You know, it's kind of like chopping up samples. That'd be really interesting to do. But I suppose all of these, you know, these are just weird samples, don't know what they are. Let's put that one there. These are all 125, so they should all line up. What's this one? And yeah, okay, let's put that on it as well. So we're just playing around here, folks, just seeing what happens if you put things that are longer than a one shot. Yeah, let's take that. So this is what happens when you put things that are longer than a one shot on particular things. So let's put that one on there and play it back and see what happens. fingers crossed, these all playing time. They're all 125. They're just starting at different places. So you could almost use this, I suppose, as building up a song in a way. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. You could actually throw long loops in here and have it play it, but the only thing you're not going to benefit from is having it cut up. So, you know, if we made this into 4, all it's going to do is trigger that 4 times, and it's just going to sound really messy. Kind of, actually. It's just playing that sample straight after each other 4 times there. So what happens if... It's quite interesting, actually. You know, anything that makes you kind of think about music in a different way, I find enjoyable. Let's duplicate that pattern. And then maybe we'll put in a new lane, and let's just put in a stonking kick. Let's just see if we can just find something like boom, boom. What's this one? Let's put you on brown. Just take these solos off. Put our chords back in here. Cool, quite interesting. Okay, so up until now we've just been using the plugin in the way it was kind of intended, or I guess misusing it a little bit. But really what I want to show you today is a way that you can extrapolate that rhythm information and you could use it to sequence synthesizers, which, yeah, check this out. So let's, for example, let's just find anything here. Let's go to this more interesting. Okay, nice and wobbly in a way. That's, yeah, let's just go with that. I don't know how this is going to sound. And one of the things that we can do here in Bitwig is, and you can do this in different ways on different programs, but here in Bitwig we can run any plugin, any sound if you like, into something called the FX grid, which if I play it, sounds exactly the same. So basically you've got the beat scholar, which is playing, and it's going into the FX grid over here, which is our sound in, and then our sound out, and it goes to our speakers. So anything we do here in the middle, we can affect this. So just for those of you who are not familiar, you could just put in a filter here, and now that beat scholar is running through this filter. That kind of thing. And you could do things like modulate that using things like this. But that's not what we're here to do. What we're going to do is use the power of this, not to use the sound, but to use the triggers. So if I was to, inside of here, just build a simple synthesizer, so we've got an oscillator and we're going to run that into an envelope, that kind of thing, and then we run that out to the speakers instead. So we're not listening to the Beat Scholar anymore, we'll just put that here. But the Beat Scholar is sending information into the grid. In fact, what it's doing, if we go over here and we turn this on, we can see that each of our sounds is actually sending out a MIDI note, and those MIDI notes are being sent into our grid as well as the timing information. So at the moment, if I play it, it's going to sound a bit jumbled up. So there you go, you're hearing the pitch of these things that are playing, which are just at random notes, that kind of thing, but you're also hearing the timing information. So what I'm going to do is just turn off the pitch. So we're just listening to timing information now. So it's ignoring the notes coming in terms of pitch value. It's just listening to when the notes are playing, if you like. And those notes now can be used to open and close our envelope. This is the thing that I wanted to really kind of show you today. It's quite interesting way of working with this drum machine in its unintended way. So let's just tune it down a couple of octaves. So you see what I mean? Every time something's playing, it's triggering it. So if we soloed this, it's just essentially triggering my synthesizer envelope here, which is pretty cool, right? So let's solo this channel as well. Some things work, some things don't. And let's put a filter in here, because otherwise it's it's a bit harsh to turn the resonance down. So what I'm saying is that you can take that information and apply it to your synth lines, and that way your drums and your synths are kind of linked in a way musically. So let's bring this Beat Scholar back in. So if I just bring in a mixer here, so I can add my Beat Scholar in. So the Beat Scholar is playing that. So they're related. Which is all right, that's kind of cool, but there's more that we could do here. So again, let's grab the shapes here and let's apply it to the filter. This shape is now modulating when the filter opens and closes, and let's just choose something like maybe something like this. It's playing quite fast, so maybe we'll slow that down actually using our phase. Our phase is essentially our tempo, and one of the things that I will do usually just for extra control is divide our tempo by 2 or 4, something like that, and then use that. Just change the shape. So now the filter is impacting on the sound that we're hearing as well. So you see where I'm going here with this. You can start building up things that are quite interesting. Let's just mute the Beat Scholar. Let's just go back to the Beat Scholar, and instead of using those, let's maybe use and we've got a new kind of rhythm going now. Let's just calm that down a little bit. So it's taking this information here, and we could add some, we could maybe make this Something like that. Maybe let's change the tempo as well. We've got another scene here called Groove. What's this going to do? Let's just see what that does. Let's just change this wavetable is what I wanted to do. And let's change this shape. And you could go in and refine stuff, take things out. Now you could program this yourself, or what I'm just trying to do is extrapolate that data and use it and see what kind of it gives me to play around with as a starting point, really. Let's find a whole other groove entirely. This is kind of just a lot of kind of 16ths. There. This is a lot of kind of percussion-y stuff. About some trap hats. Again, let's turn the tempo down. So that's kind of interesting, using the hats in that way, maybe a bit fast. Oh crikey, there's a lot going on in this one. And at the minute we've just got notes playing. But we could, if we wanted to, bring in our own pitches. And we could quantize those pitches and send those pitches into our oscillator. Something like this. Let's get some modulation going on. So maybe we'll take something like this and apply it to it. It's like a 90s garage. Let's put the beat in. That kind of thing. Let's try a different groove. We could use these notes actually if we wanted to as well to make music. So we could, if we wanted to, take that and we could use, the pitch in. And now it's receiving the pitch from our beat scholar, which is here. Let's just take that back up a couple of octaves. And you can change all these notes. There's something really crazy going on here in this section. Let's just put that to 1. And if it's playing more than one note, let's try it polyphonic. It's like Mario or something. Okay, so we've got C1, G flat, I think that is, 1 and 2, and F, but these are all running through this quantizer, so it's saying which notes this is going to play. That kind of thing. And I suppose we could, you maybe put some bit of delay on there. And let's put a sampler in here and just bring in, you know, just want a nice big chunky kick. Just to give it a bit of context. Just turn it down a second. That kind of thing going on. So here's another thing that I designed, which if I just play it, it's got some of my kicks in there, pretty heavy sounding. And I've got that running through the effects grid again, so we've got the sound coming in so we can listen to it. We've taken the notes, that's opening and closing. This envelope, it then runs through a low pass filter, which is being controlled by this, and then it's going through some delays, that kind of thing. And let's mute. So we're not listening to the beat scholar, we're just listening to what it's extrapolating here into the grid. And now if I just bring in beat scholar, And you've got related rhythm and melody, I guess. And if we want to change the notes a little bit, we could bring in the quantizer and just bring in a pitch here. I'm not sure what notes they're playing, so let's have a look. Got B2. Maybe I'll just make that play an octave. Where are we? Well, that's quite nice. That's D4 like. Hey. Sorry, this moves quite fast. So these are all spitting out B2, these are spitting out D4. Yeah. Nice. Okay, so what if we take this patch here and we was to also run that into the grid and extrapolate that information. So actually we've got, so we build ourselves something like this, and add and so that, or maybe just grab a, you know, you've just got something cool like that going on. The other thing is as well, you know, you could work with some kind of logic here. So you could say that this will only trigger whenever these trigger. So if we grab this, which is an AND, pull this in, so the gate coming in, run that into there, and then whenever this receives a gate input and this plays, it will then trigger that only. So again, it's another way of kind of coming up with some kind of new ideas. And again, the pitch might just be a little bit random. So let's quantize that pitch coming in and go back up a few octaves. And that's those pitches coming in. Let's just do something maybe a little bit more musical. Oh, actually, I need to turn that off and run that into there. And we need to bring the pitch in. Maybe down a quant. There we go. Maybe add another one of these. Let's add in another sampler. This kick seems to be doing the job today. And let's bring that in. Of course, you know, we could just use the Beat Scholar's kick, but I'm just using this for now, just a bit of context. delay. And you know, if we bring some other things in, we make this more complicated, we can do that. So we can maybe duplicate that scene. And instead let's go crazy. What if we go to like 8? Actually, it's not too crazy, is it? Let's be sensible. And we can actually copy and we can paste. And then go back to this. I kind of like this one quite a lot. Let's go back to the first one and let's change this. Nice and simple, this one. Let's maybe do something with this. If we want to change the notes, of course, we can change that here on the quantizer. That only really seems to be flicking between those two because we're playing octaves. So you know, we could do something like that. So one of the things that I'd like to do now is kick this out into my modular here. And if you're new to this channel, you might want to go back and look at my previous video, which I'll put a link to, which shows you how I built these cases, how I designed them and built them from scratch. There's a lot of modules in here as well that are going to be featured in my future videos coming up. Some of the modules that I haven't really had too much time to play with, so I wanted to do a really big deep dive. And I'm also going to be looking at how I'm using this in combination with the computer as a kind of hybrid setup, which is kind of really exciting setup for me and a way of working. So let's send this out into the modular, just in the same way that we were doing with the grid earlier. Go over to pattern A, and I'll just close that for now. So we've got Beat Scholar coming into the effects grid. So it comes in here, goes into a mixer and out to my speakers. I'm just gonna turn that down so we can't hear it, because all I want to do is take the triggers, which is this here. So this takes the trigger from Beat Scholar coming in, and it sends it straight to my sound card, which is the Expert Sleepers ES9, which is a great sound card. I use it when I'm playing live, I use it when I'm in the studio. It's DC coupled, it does audio, so it essentially allows you to send CV and gate and modulation from your computer into all of this and back again and record it. It's great. It makes it so easy to do it. It just opens up the doors for So many possibilities. So all I'm doing is sending those gates out from my ES9, which is behind my screen here. And what that's doing is triggering an envelope, which is the quadrax, and then that envelope is opening and closing a VCA. My oscillator is going into that VCA. This is the XPO by Make Noise. Go check out the videos I've done on that. That then runs into a filter just for a bit of fun, and then a filter takes it back to the sound card so we can hear it. So nice and simple. So if I hit play here, you will see hopefully this light here on the quadrax, which is basically the triggers coming from Beat Scholar, triggering that. You can see it opening and closing the VCA. And if I now open up the filter, the filter is the Volt Freak. There we go. So I am using Beat Scholar to trigger my modular. If I go to pattern B, we've got these different hi-hats going on. Back to pattern A. And actually, if I now want to listen to the drums from Beat Scholar, I can turn it up here. There we go. Nice and simple. And of course, when you've got this information coming into here, you can then, you can start patching anything in. So you could maybe take this LFO and patch that into the filter, just like we was doing in the grid. And you've got these other rhythms now. And there we go. Hopefully you found this useful, enjoyable, inspiring. Hopefully you're going to go away and maybe do something like this yourself. Maybe you already are. If you are, leave it in the comments. I always want to know what you guys are up to. How are you programming your beats? How are you making sure that there's a connection, if you need it, between your synths and your drums? Are you already doing something like this? You know, this isn't a new concept by any means. But it is for me. It's something that I've only really been doing recently. And I can't wait to use this as well with some of my hardware drums, like the Soma Pulsar I've got here. And I've also got the Perk ones as well. So I can't wait to use that with it. The other thing that I might do as well is use this to open and close filters instead of triggering things as well. So I'm looking to explore that a little bit more. Is anyone using this? If you are, let me know how you're getting on with it. I was just looking, and it is available to buy now. It's available on Windows and Mac. It's available in all DAWs. It actually doesn't mention Bitwig, but it works in Bitwig, so they can add that one to the list. It comes in standalone, plugin, and AU MIDI effects as well. So yeah, this is available now. I think there's some money off at the moment for it. I don't get paid anything for this. This isn't sponsored or anything like that. They did send me the software for me to check out, so that was kind of them, and I've enjoyed using it. There's a few things, like I mentioned, that I'd like to see maybe updated if they're open to that. But anyway, yeah, if you are familiar with my music, you'll know that a lot of my music is just very much kind of kick and hi-hats. There's not actually very much snare. Do go check out my Bandcamp, by the way. I'll put a link below if you want to listen to that. There's new music coming on there soon. I'm not going to be putting any more music on streaming platforms for the foreseeable. It's all going to be on Bandcamp. And I'm hoping that this is going to kind of unlock a little bit more a little bit more detail and attention that I can give the drums moving forward. I certainly am, though, going to use everything that we've talked about today in terms of extrapolating the kind of rhythmic content from here and sending it out here, because a big part of my music is just essentially opening and closing filters. It's pretty much one note for the most part. So I'm really interested about using this more to generate those kind of ideas. So that's how I think I'm going to be using it moving forward. Anyway, yeah, please do like and subscribe. Share this video as well if you found it useful at all, and do write in the comments about what you're doing. There's a lot of videos coming very soon as well. We've got all of this to cover. I've got a couple more things to go through, both hardware and software. So I can't wait to share all of that stuff with you and grow this channel and develop this community. And yeah, thanks for joining me today, and I'll see you on the other side. Bye.